one of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Liv.
It's very exciting, and really, if there was ever a place to get my first win, I feel like this would be the perfect week.
I feel like when this wind at this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
What the heck course were you playing today?
I don't know.
It's brutal out there.
It is brutal. I don't know. I just made everything I looked at, Jerry. You have those days. I suppose this was one of those days for me, so I relished it. I really enjoyed it. Every time I stood over a putt, just felt like I could make it, and you don't get days like that too often, or certainly I don't. So, I relished in it, and I managed to hit a lot of good shots as well. So it was a special day.
Game time decisions. We're back here on SportsGrid. That means I remembered something. The MLB draft is today. I have not placed any wagers. The only time I think I've ever bet on the MLB draft was 2 years ago. It wasn't Skeen's year, and I did some quick research on who was supposed to go second overall. Laid chalk, destroyed. Remind me of the Wimbledon stuff. Not great time. I did some research into today, and it basically sounds like the Guardians are trying to figure out the cheapest route possible to the first pick. Again, baseball is terrible. Now, if you want some sizzles, I may try to get them to you from the crew before we get out of here, but I might have to check them myself before we're willing to do that, because draft betting is something we take very serious here on Game Time Decisions. With that said, Joe Madden is with us here. Joe, great to see you on a Sunday morning. The Major League Baseball board is already underway. I'm just going to guess. That means you are as well. Aaron Judge in the mix, Yankees, Orioles. Did you bet this game?
Yeah, absolutely. I looked at Aaron Judge to come out nice and strong in this one, be able to get us that home run. We know yesterday we saw Aaron Judge and Soto go back-to-back for those home runs. This Yankees team needs another win here, and I do think they come out nice and strong. So I'm taking Judge for the home run. I also have Gunnar Henderson. I heard what you said yesterday about how you're taking both of them, and Gunnar Henderson's been so quiet as of late. We're getting so much value on him here. And Rodon's coming out here for the Yankees. Both of these pitchers I can't trust. I think the home runs are coming in this one. So, Kevin, it's where I'm going. I had the Yurfie in this one. When did that first run come? Did it come in the first inning or did it come here in the second? Oh, it didn't. So I lost that one already. Too bad.
Sorry to say.
It's okay.
We should have erased it. Nobody would have ever known. No, we don't do that. We're honest. We're honest as always. But yes, yeah. Gunnar and Judge, we're looking for some home runs there. The Yanks up again. Man, it's incredible. But just to stick on this for a moment, Joe, the conversation around the Yankees entering this series was, man, this is dangerous. This is dire. They better not get swept. If they win here today, they go back into first place in this division, and the Orioles will enter the All-Star break, losers of 6 in a row.
Yeah, and you know what? This is a really hard mindset game, I think, for teams that are down, losing so many games in a row going into the All-Star break. They're ready for the break. They need this rest out here, and I just can't see them here against the Yankees be able to get it done, especially with what we saw out of that team offensively yesterday. Now, they are catching a break with Rodon because we know Rodon is fade-worthy here for the Yankees. I can't trust him, but Dean Kremer in the same boat. So it's going to take a lot for the Orioles to be able to come out here and beat the Yankees, but I just don't think they have it. I think the Yankees are the stronger team overall, and we saw that yesterday. We actually got plus money with the Yankees yesterday. I'm still shaking my head over that, them entering that game at plus 114.
Yeah, it was a nice number there, and I know that you were able to take advantage. Joe, let's go over to this Phillies-A's game here. Joey Estes has the ball going up against this Phillies team, who are a big, big favorite on this slate. Where are you looking to get involved?
Yeah, another pitcher that struggles on the road here with Joey Estes. I love backing him at home, and he is very strong there. But we look at him out here on the road, and his ERA is over a 6. We saw the Phillies absolutely dominate that matchup yesterday, winning that 11-5. And I do think they're going to hit off of Joey Estes. But looking at the bullpen by committee game here for the Phillies, I really do think we're going to see the A's make this a competitive game, get some runs on the board as well. I'm just going to look at the first 5. I'm going to take it over 5.5 runs. It's coming in at minus 130. I wouldn't be shocked if we got closer to 8 in the first 5 innings here. Like I said, Joey Estes, fade worthy on the road. He's 1-4 with a 9.10 ERA. He's a bet on at home. He's definitely not here on the road.
Yeah, I'm considering a Brandon Marsh, 1.5 hits, runs, RBI in that game, which is at minus 105. Something to keep tabs on there, though, but Estes has struggled certainly against left-handed bats, and there could be an opportunity with Marsh. I know he's a little bit further down in that lineup at the 7th spot, but, you know, Bryce Harper, I know the comparison points, but Bryce, batting third, is 2.5 at minus 130. That's a big gap there. So for me, I think Marsh is a little bit more tempting, batting 7th right now in that lineup. Joe, I think there's going to be some juice probably in this Red Sox-Royals game here, which has not been the case through 2 games in this series. How are you looking to get involved in the Brian Bello, Brady Singer game?
This line worries me a little bit, Kevin. We look at this matchup here, and Brian Bello, I just can't trust him. He's had so many struggles out there. He's got a higher ERA, and I know he's coming off a really solid game where he was able to get those 11 strikeouts, but I don't think he's going to have success here. Against the Kansas City Royals, we look at the Royals versus righties, and they don't strike out a heck of a lot. They're only striking out 19.1%. I'm looking at Bello under his 4.5 strikeouts, and I'm looking at the Royals with Brady Singer getting the start to have the advantage on the mound in those first 5 innings. Brady Singer needs to come out strong. He's got an overall 2.93 ERA. His last 3 games, he's been on absolute fire, 1.40 ERA in 19.3 innings pitched. So looking at this line, at first I didn't get it, but we do know the Red Sox do have a better lineup. Kansas City has more, a couple really good bats. And then we look at the bullpen, it is better for the Red Sox. So I think Kansas City can get it done in those first 5 innings. I know they're coming off a game where they were completely shut out yesterday. The Red Sox winning that 5-0, but I do think Kansas City in the first 5 can get it done. I trust in Singer. I don't trust in Bello here, Kevin.
All right, so I think that makes plenty of sense for me. I think even if Singer deserves more trust, his struggles against lefties is horrifying against Boston, who can throw out so many strong lefty bats. The first 4 hitters in this lineup today, in Durant, Hamilton, Yoshida, who got moved into the 3 slot there, and Devers, all have really had a lot of success. So that's why I think this could be just a big-time pop-off game here. And, I think, too, Joe, just kind of to zoom back for a minute, but these are 2 teams that are both going to look to try and make some noise here in the wild card race. Right now, the Red Sox own, if the season ended today, the last spot, but the Royals are just 1 back of them. So, today's game can make all that difference heading into an all-star break here. I would say if either team is able to get in, I think they're both legitimately dangerous from a big picture perspective. They've got good bats. I think both of these teams present strong arms. You mentioned your trust in Singer today. We've seen Kansas City throw Reagans and Lugo in this series already. Cutter Crawford, Nick Pivetta, right? There's juice on these Boston rotation arms here. There's potentially room for both. May only be room for one. I mean, the Astros are hunting. There may be room for none, quite frankly. But these are two teams that we talk big picture, I think could be dangerous come playoff time.
Yeah, they absolutely could be. My issue with the Red Sox here is they have to have more discipline at the plate, Kevin. The amount of strikeouts this team is taking, it's too undisciplined for me. So if they can start having some more discipline up there, get that walk rate up so they're able to walk to some of those bases and just fake out these pitchers, it would be good to see. And I do think they have every ability to do so. So more discipline out of the Red Sox. And when we look here at the Kansas City Royals, I just think those bats have to get hot at the right time. We saw the offense yesterday really struggle, and they had Seth Lugo. Like you mentioned, Seth Lugo came out and he did okay, but they need better out of their arms as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun to follow that back end wild card race. I mean, certainly in both leagues, but it's going to be tricky to try and pinpoint the jump in spot because these races are close. Again, if you told me that either Boston or KC were in, there's a level of interest in either team making a run. Really, there is. But do you want to make that wager and then your team misses the playoffs? That becomes a tricky bit of it all. And again, remember, I played a Royals preseason win total under. Bad, it is what it is. This team certainly has some juice. We'll look for more juice and get to the rest of the baseball card with Joe Madden next.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live. It's
very exciting, and really, if there was ever a place to get my first win, I feel like this would be the perfect week.
When this wind at this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
What the heck course were you playing today?
I don't know.
It's brutal out there.
It is brutal. I don't know. I just made everything I looked at, Jerry. You have those days. I suppose this is one of those days for me, so I really shouldn't. I really enjoyed it. Every time I stood over a putt, just felt like I could make it, and you don't get days like that too often, or certainly I don't. So, yeah, I relished in it, and I managed to hit a lot of good shots as well, so it was a special day.
Back right here, it's Game Time Decisions. Quickly, just to update your outright market at the Scottish Open, plus 105 on Ludwig, plus 220 Morikawa, 4-1 Scott, 5-1 Morikawa now 3-1, 4-1 Scott, 5-1 McIntyre. So again, it's Sung Jae Im's moved up to 28, gives him a little bit more life, but this feels like a scenario where they're considering four guys, but Ludwig certainly has that gap. We're still here with Joe Madden. And, Joe, we got to move this over to some Rangers-Astros action here. Blanco against Scherzer should be a good one. What do you like?
Yeah, this really should be. We saw the pitching duel yesterday between these two teams with extra innings needed for the Rangers to get a 2-1 win. And it was surprising that both of those runs for each team came in that first inning. And then we had a nothing for the rest of it. And I'm looking for another really solid pitching duel between Max Scherzer and Blanco here. I do think both have the ability to go nice and deep in this game. And the books really do as well, Kevin. I tried to take their outs in this one over on FanDuel. Both pitchers listed at 17.5, outs at almost 2-1 to your money, and you can't even parlay those together over there. So I couldn't go that route. I looked at this route. I looked at the under 4.5 in the first 5 innings. It's coming in at minus 130, and I do think the Astros have been the overall better team, should be able to bounce back off that loss yesterday and get a win in another lower scoring game. But I do think it's the under in the first 5. That's the best way to take this one, with both of these pitchers coming out phenomenally strong. Scherzer coming in here 1-2 with a 3.09 ERA. And then when we look at Blanco, 9-3, 2.53 ERA. He's been nice and solid at home, and Scherzer's been solid on the road. So I think this is a great way to go with the under in this one, Kevin, in the first 5.
All right, so a little first 5 under there. Up next, Joe, Nationals Brewers. Now, the reason I smile is because I'm not going to do this every time we talk Nationals, but because I am also Jake Irvin is yeah, I am, Joe. under 3.5 earned runs. It's my play of the day. It's minus 140. He has consistently bounced back off any bad starts he has had this season. It's what I expect on the road today against Milwaukee.
Absolutely. And Kevin, it becomes almost principle coming on Game Time Decisions and giving you a Nationals pick here, because it seems like every time there is something we can play on the Nationals. And Jake Irvin, I do think, will come out here nice and strong. I'm trusting him for his over 17.5 outs. That's coming in at minus 106 here against the Brewers. We saw this Nationals team battle back nicely in yesterday's game, able to get the win. It was surprising the Brewers put up 5 runs in that first inning and then were completely silent for the rest of the game. They might hit Jake quick in this one in the first inning, but I do think he stays nice and deep in this one. His last 10 starts, he's averaging 18.4 outs per game. And I do think this is another one where we can see him go into that 6th inning, go nicely over the 17.5 outs. And we're laying light juice here. Now, Colin Rea getting the start for the Brewers. I do think the Nationals have the ability to go over their team total as well. They're striking out not very much versus righties, only at 19.9%. So I think they have every ability to come out nicely against him, be able to get the win. But I think the best way to look really is Jake Irving for over on his outs. I love where you're taking him as well. I think it's a solid play on him today.
All right, yep. So some Jake Irvin action is on the board. I really like the bet. I really do. But I promised a National wouldn't be the play of the day many times, and then numbers just keep popping up, Joe. I can't, listen, when the numbers are there, they're there. What about the Blue Jays and the Diamondbacks here? Zach Gallen has the ball, positioning Arizona as the favorite.
Well, anytime anyone wants to take the Blue Jays, I have the same reaction as you when you see a Nationals bet, it seems like, Kevin. I laugh at my Toronto Blue Jays here, and rightly so. Yesterday, they came out and they gave up, 12 runs to the Diamondbacks, only able to get one themselves. Vladdy is completely silent right now out there, and I do think he's been the biggest weapon for the Toronto Blue Jays. If his bat isn't going, then Toronto isn't going anywhere. And I do think this is just too much for this team. They need the All-Star break. They need a reset here. And they really need to shake things up at the trade deadline because this team isn't working. Looking at them here with Kikuchi getting the start versus Zach Gallen, I do give the edge to the Diamondbacks in this one. So I really had to play around with this game to try to get some value because I don't want to lay minus 150 here on the Diamondbacks. So what I did, I parlayed the Diamondbacks on the money line and the first 5 innings under 4.5 runs, and that came out at plus 174, Kevin. I like this kind of play because we look here at Kikuchi. He was solid in his last start. So I do think he'll come out and quiet the bat slightly here of the Diamondbacks. I expect them to get a couple runs, but not to push us over that total of 4.5. And I think the bats are just so dead and so quiet here for Toronto. I can't see them getting up for this last game before they go on break. You know, the suitcases are packed. They're sitting in the locker room and they're ready to go on holiday. So the Blue Jays need to really think about things on holiday here.
Yeah, they do. It's been tough. Sitting right now 43-52. They have the 4th worst record in the American League, only behind the Angels or in front of the Angels, Athletics, and White Sox. Real bad. Real bad. Joe, we appreciate it as always. Best of luck with this baseball board.
Best of luck out there, Kevin, and to anyone who's backing Toronto today, because they could pull off the upset. I just don't see it happening. So best of luck, you guys.
Yeah. Best of luck, certainly there. So listen, I have eyes on an MLB draft card here. What if it's a fade? Could be fade material. I'll read it to the people. All right, it's from the crew. All right, I don't know how much collaboration went into this. I'm pretty sure. You know what? I'm gonna hold off. I want to take another extra read at this. All right. I did, admittedly, like a minute of research at a red light. I shouldn't even be doing that, right? But it was a long light, and I'm pretty sure the first thing on here is just completely wrong. We'll see. We'll talk about it on SportsGrid.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed. Right, I've been able to play events in Spain.
You're in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta. It's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but it's so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live. It's
very exciting, and really, if there was ever a place to get my first win, I feel like this would be the perfect week.
When this wind at this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
What the heck course were you playing today?
I don't know.
It's brutal out there.
It is brutal. I don't know. I just made everything I looked at, Jerry. You have those days. I suppose this was one of those days for me, so I relished in it. I really enjoyed it. Every time I stood over a putt, just felt like I could make it, and you don't get days like that too often, or certainly I don't. So, I relished in it, and I managed to hit a lot of good shots as well. So it was a special day.
Welcome back. Game Time Decisions. We're on SportsGrid. All right, here's a story. This is being labeled the show's draft card. I, though, have no part in this. I will say the crew is not just clicking with their eyes closed. They're into the baseball. They're into the prospects. Far more than they should be, quite honestly. Here's what they have, all right? We've got Condon to go first overall. I always want to call him Charles Conduit, who is an MMA fighter, which is ridiculous. So that's going to take some time to get adjusted to. We're going to expand on that in a minute. Vance Honeycutt under the 18.5. Yee Savage. I mean, come on. Now, what are we doing here? Yee Savage, strong name, plus 160 under the 12.5. And Jack Caglione to go fifth overall, plus 120. Is that the catch kid? Right? Is that him? Not him at all. All right, what are you going to do? Who made the catch? Was that kid on Clemson? Maybe? I know so much college baseball. I had a dominant college baseball season. Not as dominant as coaches. Sign up to Coach's Patreon and get his premium college baseball futures package, man. What a guy. Coach will be here in 5 minutes. Luckily he's not in here yet. Otherwise he'd try and run in and give all his MLB draft picks. Look, here is, and I'm telling you right now, I will tell you this is from MLB.com. It is Jonathan Mayo and Jim Callis who kind of did a combined mock draft. They each gave their selections. The breakdown, though, for first overall is really interesting, where the topic of conversation with the Guardians having the first pick is they're going to see how can they save money. Now, first of all, I'm serious. Terrible sport, right? Terrible sport. Imagine Caleb Williams went 7th this year so the Bears could save money. So that's where we're at in Major League Baseball. From, again, just, it feels like Condon's the best prospect, or maybe Bazana, right? That's what it seems like. But now, for both of Callis and Mayo, they mocked Weatherholt here at first because he would take the least money on the signing bonus. If you are willing to back that, Weatherholt is plus 195 to go second. Here's what's interesting. If Bazana doesn't go first, Condon is a minus 550 favorite, to go second. At third, you can find Bazana at 21-1. According to some, the top prospect in the class. That 21-1 is available on FanDuel. That same number is 8-1 on DraftKings. To go fourth overall, Bazana is plus 300, which is where he is mocked in this draft. There is some temptation from me to play Bazana. He's 25-1 to go fifth. To play him to go third, fourth, or fifth. If he goes first, it's a loss. But if he doesn't go first, and then Condon is the lock that he is being priced as to go second overall, then we would see a really good ticket cash. It would be pretty then surprising. You would, just from what you can gather here, if he doesn't go first, then he would fall out of that top 5. The draft is at 6 p.m. today. I have not placed a wager. If I do, as always, we'll send it out. Also, there's no way I'm going for chalk after Novak couldn't win a set. But if you'd like it again, the crew is on. Condon to go first. Honeycutt under the 18.5. Yee Savage under 12.5. And Caglione to be selected fifth. I will say this. The amount of draft props available. I mean, look, you just got to shout it out. DraftKings is in the mix, man. I mean, this is just fantastic. Let me see how many you got here. You have 23 draft position bets, which is just individual player. And you have a bunch of draft matchups as well. Let me see how many you have here for these. It looks like you have 13. I mean, that's pretty remarkable, as well as odds for first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So if you want to get involved with some MLB draft, it is certainly on the board. We're going to talk to Coach James Young, some W's from Summer League, and a little bit more here on SportsGrid.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed. Right, I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta. It's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50-years-old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live. It's
very exciting, and really, if there was ever a place to get my first win, I feel like this would be the perfect week.
When this wind at this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
What the heck course were you playing today?
I don't know.
It's brutal out there.
It is brutal. I don't know. I just made everything I looked at, Jerry. You have those days. I suppose this was one of those days for me, so I relish it. I really enjoyed it. Every time I stood over a putt, just felt like I could make it, and you don't get days like that too often, or certainly I don't. So, yeah, I relished in it, and I managed to hit a lot of good shots as well, so it was a special day.
Here he is, Coach James Young. JY, great to have you, man.
Hey, man,
Now,
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to see you, my brother. How you doing? How you doing today, this Sunday fun day, brother?
Listen, it's great to see you. We're going to have a lot of fun. And I know that they say, glass house, be careful with those stones. I like the floral pattern. You come in with the UNLV Rebel shirts, we can get behind that, right? What are you wearing right now? What shirt are you wearing? What is going on here?
I'm just going with a little gray and maroon here. I'm trying to be like you a little bit. I can't do. You're a little bit cuter than me. You can do the floral stuff. JY can't rock with that.
Here, can I just tell you? It looked lower. I'll be honest with you, JY. It felt like you got a strict beach plan to get to after this hit, and you had the tank top on with this jacket over it, right? And I'll be honest with you, folks, I'm still not sure that's not the case, but I'll find out during break. I'll find out. We're going to drop. The cylinders are going to be out, brother. All right, JY, talk to me now.
What's up?
All right. Can I go? Oh, Baltimore 2-1. Hold on. Gunnar Henderson? Oh, Gunny!
Oh, Gunner? Are we talking about Gunnar
JY.
Henderson or the rapper Young Gunner? Young
go
Gunner
ahead.
or Gunnar Henderson? Gunnar Henderson? Young Gunner?
No. Gunnar Henderson.
Oh, yeah, that Gunner. Yeah, Young Gunner. All
right, JY.
Mm-hmm.
I actually want to start with a Team USA topic, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
There are some reports that Steve Kerr is going to continue to tinker with the lineup, and some people were kind of pulling. They released the film kind of from the practices that maybe Tatum and Ant could check into the starting lineup. Which, if you look at last game's starting lineup, LeBron, Curry, Drew, Embiid, Devin Booker. If you're slotting in Ant and Tatum. I'm imagining that's for Drew and Devin Booker. That would give you a starting five of Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid. At this moment, Coach, where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
Kevin, I like Drew Holiday in the starting lineup because I like the fact that I think he's a facilitator. I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I liked Ant over Booker. I think if you looked at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling after he kind of got into the game. And then from there, if you want to go Tatum, and then you want to go Embiid, I have no problems with that. I do think when Durant is healthy, maybe you pull Tatum out of the lineup and kind of do that, thank you, kumbaya, to someone like Kevin Durant, which should be his last Olympics. So I'm okay with them moving the lineup around. I also want to see, Kevin, when they go against a bigger team, let's say they face France at some point, do we go big on big, right? Do we go with like AD at the 4, Embiid at the 5 to kind of match up with Wemby and Gobert? But I have no problem with Steve Kerr tinkering this lineup because as long as he pulls the right strings in regards to if it's a close game, 35 minutes, everybody kind of gets their burn. And then if you got to put the pedal to the metal sometime in the fourth quarter, the 5 best players go on the floor, that's fine with me. Kev, at the end of the day, if they defend and they defend the way like they did against Canada, it ain't going to matter who he puts in the starting lineup. They'll roll everyone in the Olympics.
So I think one of the things that immediately jumps off the page when you watch the game against Canada, and I know it's an exhibition, but if you look at Team USA's starting 5, just in that game, right, you compare it to Canada's, clearly Team USA has an advantage. And I would say Team USA's starting 5 was still better than the backup 5. I say that, not bad, but you get the point, right? But the gap for USA's backup 5 to Canada's backup 5 is much bigger.
Everywhere.
And that's where Team USA, 100%, Coach. It's where they keep that separation. I know it will feel for a lot of people like a big reaction off of one game, but I felt this way before the game was even played. I think you have to start Anthony Davis. There is one argument, though, where that crumbles. And it's why I'm struggling with it. AD is the right answer except for Serbia. And that's who the first opponent is in the actual Olympics. Because, again, the one true answer, if that exists, for Jokic is Embiid. It's that, and we know that for AD and for Bam, 2 of the best defenders in the world, it's just they end up like everybody else. There's just nothing you can do with the guy, right? But Embiid, not that he shuts Jokic down, but he gives him business. Oh, I mean, JY, he gives him business.
Well, the reason is because Embiid will give him business on the other end of the floor, particularly in the low block, where Joker don't want that smoke. I think Serbia presents interesting because if you want to go double team, then I could see you going, honestly, AD with Embiid and then double big on big. So now you're also bringing 6'11", well, maybe 6'9", 6'8", I don't know. This whole thing with Kevin Durant being 6'9",
what a
it's
mess.
got to be all thrown off. The guy, Kevin, the guy's 6'11". Listen, when I played in college basketball, I'm really 6'4", but I say I'm 6'6". This is the only brother I know that lies about his inches being too small. This dude is 6'11". He is eye to eye with Embiid. He is not 6'9". I'm sorry.
I will say, it is odd that Durant is not offended, but doesn't want to be labeled 6'11". I don't know what usually in sports, people want to be considered taller than they probably even are. I don't know what the story with the KD stuff is. He's never wanted to be considered taller. Sometimes they say that with LeBron, too. There are sometimes you see angles of LeBron, though he looks the same height as AD. I don't really know. I can't figure it out. It's a fair point, though. Team USA is going to play tomorrow. I wonder JY, when if we start, I don't think we're getting any props in the friendlies. I don't think we are. I'm curious though, and we're gonna have so much, a lot more time to expand on these things. But that leading scorer market, we've hit on it briefly. And Edwards obviously jumped off the page. If he gets into the starting lineup, do you think he will then become the favorite to be the leading scorer for Team USA?
Yes, because he's that like young whippersnapper on the block. Like, yo, I gotta show y'all I got shine. LeBron, he's done his. Steph's done his. Like everybody else is kind of like, this is the cat was like, yo, I'm getting buckets. And I'm getting buckets right away. So I love for him to be the leading scorer for the team.
For me, I still just think Steph's path is the easiest. Also, what'll be valuable for that market is if we do have Anthony Edwards start tomorrow, right, Coach?
Mm-hmm.
Because then, if all of a sudden because he was leading the second unit, right? Halliburton's so passive, AD and Bam are there to play defense, and then you kind of have Ant and Tatum playing off one another, but Ant's just so forceful. Tatum is more willing to play that secondary role. I mean, we saw that play out kind of in the finals, right? Just was letting the game come to him a lot more and was shooting 35% from the field. That was another part of why he didn't win Finals MVP or conference. Well, he was fine in the conference finals. Nevertheless, that's some Team USA. Go ahead, quick, Coach.
I would say this. If Steph moves to the point, I don't like his chances. He's got to be the two.
LeBron's going to do it.
You think LeBron's going to be the point?
I think LeBron's going to. Yes, that nonsense where he's not. You know which team he should really play point for? Not this all. Yeah. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed. Right, I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta. It's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have LIV. It's
very exciting, and really, if there was ever a place to get my first win, I feel like this would be the perfect week.
This wind at this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
What the heck course were you playing today?
I don't know.
It's brutal out there.
It is brutal. I don't know. I just made everything I looked at, Jerry. You have those days. I suppose this is one of those days for me, so I relish it. I really enjoyed it. Every time I stood over a putt, just felt like I could make it, and you don't get days like that too often, or certainly I don't. So, I relished in it, and I managed to hit a lot of good shots as well, so it was a special day.
All right, we're back right here. Game time decisions. Sometimes Coach comes in such a good mood, he's kind of willing to just give the people what they want. So if you get JY, not if he has a bad mood, but if he's feeling a little fiery, he'll just come in slandering the Wizards. And then he was just very complimentary to Bilal Coulibaly out of nowhere. All I know is that I'm happy that means Coach is in a good mood. I'm going to bring up something, though, that I know Coach was a little bothered by yesterday, which was the end game Angel Reese double-double hunt. I don't even want to be out here. I only scored 8 points. Look, the double-double streak is impressive. I don't think it is inaccurate to say it is in her and this team's best interest that this thing is over now. The end of the game looked ridiculous. It very much seems like it's the most important thing to her. And JY, we're running into the same issues with Angel Reese again that were the issues in the beginning of the season. 5 of 17, 3 of 13. You cannot shoot all of your shots 2 feet from the basket and be 8 of 30 in a 2-game window, shooting 25% from the field. It's just impossible, and yet, here we are.
Listen, folks, shout out to the Liberty. I'm gonna be that guy. Shout out to the Liberty, because after that fiasco that took place with Atlanta and Tina Charles, if the Liberty would have done the same thing, Kevin, people would have stopped talking about the streak, and it would more have been about how she kept the streak alive. So when they threw the ball to the post and the Liberty played a box and one, you know, Kevin, the new box and one, 4 on Angel Reese and 1 on everybody else, they didn't know what to do. And then you saw Angel Reese look upset. The best part about it was, honestly, people talking about it. Brianna Stewart is basically yelling at them to don't let her shoot. This is not about hate. This is about this. Angel Reese, at times, struggles to finish around the basket because she's not overly strong, and she doesn't finish strong, and she's more worried about creating contact and flailing her arms than making shots. Folks, simply put, she shot 3 of 13 from the floor. That's bad, folks. You want worse? It gets worse. She shot 3 of 11 inside the paint. You want worse? I got one more. She shot 3 of 10 inside the charge circle. Angel Reese better not be mad at the Liberty for what they did at the end of the game. She better not be mad at her teammates for not trying to get her the ball more. She should be mad at herself for her inability to finish. She put too much pressure on herself, K-Dub, and now the best thing, you're right, has happened. The streak is over. Let her just start the streak over again. She's having a great year, but her ability to finish around the rim has been a problem. There's been, I think I'm counting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. 7 games this year, Kevin. She has shot, right? 8 games, under 35% from the floor. For someone who's shooting exclusively in the lane, that's not good. She's got to finish better.
100%. I think, man, the shooting percentage is crazy. I also just think, and I know sometimes the history helps, right? So the double-double streak is absolutely a part of the Angel Reese Rookie of the Year case. I do think people are attempting to make the case for Reese poorly. Using a double-double streak or the Chicago Sky's record is much less effective than her having a plus 18 on-off net rating. Taylor's is plus 3. Make that argument. Make the win shares argument. Again, the streak is impressive. But then all of a sudden it gets cheapened with what happened the last 2 games. Let's take this into Caitlin Clark, Coach, who is Nafisha going to play today? I mean, the Minnesota line keeps climbing. It's suggesting she's going to play. What are you going to do with this one here?
Well, I'm going to look at Caitlin Clark to get a double-double. I think Caitlin, her assists have been completely out of bounds as of late. And I know she's scoring against one of the best defensive teams in the league. But I do like Caitlin Clark to get a double-double. If you go the other way, where I'm looking at for the Minnesota Lynx, it's Kayla McBride. And it's Kayla McBride to make 3+ threes. Now, I understand Kayla's been a little bit off as of late, right? She has not gone absolutely off, and she's, missed it, I think, 2 of the last 3 games. But she had 6 in her last game. She had 3 versus Connecticut, which is a good team. And she'll get the shot attempts. The other thing you have to look at with Indiana is they don't defend the three-point line that great because Caitlin's got to score and create. So Kayla McBride, 3+ made threes today.
All right. Some love there for McBride. Caitlin Clark averaging nearly 12 assists a game in her last 7 outings. 3 straight games with 13 assists, 5 straight with 11+, and 6 out of the last 7. She has had double-digit dimes. I wonder, what is her triple-double price check-in at, JY? On a regular basis.
I have not seen. The funny thing is, I was looking for it today.
11-1.
I mean, there's a chance.
Are we going to get to a point where she has a triple-double once every 10 games?
Close.
I mean, during this, so right before kind of all the assist stuff started, she had a 12-rebound game. During this, she had a 9-rebound game, and then she had the triple-double. I would just say this. If you play the 11-1 today, you play it next game. I think it's you're kind of betting on the regularity at which you would expect Caitlin Clark to get a triple-double. We'll go Summer League and the rest of the W card with Coach next.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed. Right, I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta. It's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50-years-old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live. It's
very exciting, and really, if there was ever a place to get my first win, I feel like this would be the perfect week.
This wind at this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
What the heck course were you playing today?
I don't know.
It's brutal out there.
It is brutal. I don't know. I just made everything I looked at, Jerry. You have those days. I suppose this was one of those days for me, so I really shouldn't. I really enjoyed it. Every time I stood over a putt, just felt like I could make it, and you don't get days like that too often, or certainly I don't. So, I relished in it, and I managed to hit a lot of good shots as well. So it was a special day.
All right, we're back. It's game time decisions. Coaches here. I want to just quickly go through this, all right? MLB play of the day is Jake Irvin, under 3.5 earned runs, -140. Copa America tonight, James Rodriguez, goal or an assist. Colombia plus a half a goal, -140. England money line plus 250. Jude Bellingham, goal or an assist, plus 300. And that last one, I forgot to mention off the top. But that's a parlay. That's probably my favorite bet. But it's Argentina and Spain, both of their team totals under 1.5 at plus 103. Colombia defense has been fantastic. England's defense has not been talked about enough. Pickford's been really good. I'm trusting those back lines. That's where we're at. We've got Coach James Young here. JY, let's go through the rest of the W. You're going to be on In-Game Live today. What are you betting in the WNBA here on a Sunday?
I'm going to go with Carrington over her points prop of 12.5. I think this is the game against the Phoenix Mercury where, you're going against the Kalia Copper. The game should get up and down and pace. Copper is not a strong defender, so I'm going to go Carrington over 12.5 points. Asia Wilson over 11.5 rebounds today. I just think that she's been an absolute rebounding machine and looking up the matchup versus the Mystics, one of the worst rebounding teams in the W. And then I know it's a big spread, but I am going with Seattle minus a points versus Atlanta. Atlanta, ever since they lost Ryan Howard, Kevin, they're just awful. I mean, there's not much to talk about. I mean, Tina Charles has been, playing well. If you want to look at possibly a Tina Charles double at plus 170, I wouldn't blame you because she's going to keep Megaber off the board and same thing with Uwumake. But that team's really bad. Give me the Storm minus the points.
All right. I don't mind that at all. Kind of similar read. One of those where it's like, ooh, you got to be scared off by the points, and that happens sometimes. But I don't disagree there, JY. NBA Summer League. We'll start here. Anything you're betting for today's NBA Summer League slate?
Yeah, I actually like the Rockets minus the points. I just think that Cam Whitmore combination, along with Reed Shepherd, by the way, putting people on skates, is something that I'm really intrigued with. I like the Spurs plus the points today. I do think this is a spot where I know it's the second game in a row, but I like the way they have looked. And then obviously the Timberwolves, they're minus 2.5. You want to just go straight money line versus the Pacers. That I think Rob will be better today. Obviously, we saw what Terrence Shannon Jr. did. By the way, shout out to Terrence Shannon Jr. I took him, I think, at 30-1 to be the MVP. He's already at 10-1. That's how quickly this market is moving for certain players. So,
Absolutely.
Terrence Shannon Jr. should go off again today.
All right, we'll see. I did see the GTA tattoo that he's got going on. I know people were appreciating that. I'm curious if Rob Dillingham bounces back. I'm interested in Alex Sarr. I want to see if they give him a little bit more offensive run on this slate here. And then, we don't have unders, but Stephon Castle's been playing a lot. Looks great. Spurs got a steal. Top 2 player. You know the story. You know how I feel about it. But the big thing for me tonight is that Warriors game. J1, I don't know if JY, I think he agreed. It's why you got, did you play Pods or TJD for the MVP, JY?
I played TJD for MVP.
So both Coach and I like this Warriors team a lot. He went with the MVP ticket. I just went and played them to win outright. Look, it's Summer League. We're not overreacting. They destroyed Phoenix last night. Trace Jackson, Pods is part of the reason Clay's gone, and Jackson Davis is a rotation piece for the Warriors. I think that they have a very good chance to win Summer League. But also, if they sent Pods and Jackson Davis to the tables, it makes sense. So that's something that I'm going to be watching and looking for tonight. We don't have a lot of time. We'll get into it too. But, Coach, do you think Reed Shepherd plays the entire time in Vegas? Or are the Rockets going to be like, no, this is good. We nailed the pick at 3. Let's go home.
No, I
hope he plays the whole time.
I think he plays the whole time. I think there's a better chance that Cam doesn't play the whole time, especially if Cam gives you another really big performance.
Yeah.
Cam could shut down after today.
Oh.
Reed's going to play.
Brandon Miller yesterday, look, it is what it is. I know he landed at 23. He didn't have the 2-point shot working, which was odd. Brandon Miller, that's one and done. I'd be stunned if he takes the court again here at Vegas. JY, really appreciate it. And you're on In-Game Live next with Joe Ranieri, right?
I am. By the way, really quick, Brandon Miller 3-point props are going to be interesting. Charles Lee talked about him getting him more catch-and-shoot threes. That may be a play to look at early during the season.
Season-long player props. It'll be here before you know it. Enjoy all of the action today. Coach will have you covered. I'll see you tomorrow night on SportsGrid.